Hey everyone. I am sitting down for the first time today. It's 4:35 p.m. I'm sitting down. My daughter's passed out on the floor. She was playing blocks and passed out. Harbor, my 5-year-old, is in bed watching Power Rangers. And my 11-year-old's playing Fortnite. And I have to tell you, this is not what I was going to tell you, but the cutest thing, Cooper sits in his room now. It's brand new. And so Sawyer's on his, his headset. He's playing Fortnite. He's talking to his buddies. You can hear it though, because he has, I don't really know what his setup is, but you can hear it over the phone. So you can hear what his friends are saying. And this is like the third day in a row that Cooper has sat in there and listened. Like, he has his iPad too, and I wonder if he likes it, just like the energy of his brother. I was just upstairs because my 5-year-old put shaving cream all over the sink in the bathroom. And I was like listening to, like, I'll tell you an emotional thing. I mean, let's talk about sitting in your feelings. I was standing outside Sawyer's door, and the door is kind of shut a little bit, and I can hear Sawyer like, "Come on, bruh," like talking to his like buddies or whatever. And then I hear Cooper watching Elmo. And I was like, this is it. These are the emotions. These are like, there can be beauty and sadness and joy and heartache and all of it mixed together. It can all be together in one. It's just, remember that. It doesn't have to be just one feeling. It can be 10. It can be 5, all mixed together. So I have to tell you this thing that Cooper did, and it's anyone outside the world of severe autism, maybe it's not a big deal, but I am honestly still in awe of it because I think it's so like the culmination of everything that we've worked towards. Okay? And for a little backstory, for anyone doesn't know our story fully, Cooper's 13. He's my firstborn. He was diagnosed with severe nonverbal autism at 3. And, ages 4 to 8 were our hardest years, his most challenging years. I love the name Pip. Oh, I love that name. So he, I can go back in seconds to those beginning years, the diagnosis years, all of the, the hardest years. And so I'll just tell you like an example. I don't even think Cooper knew we had groceries for the first 8 years of his life. So what does that mean? Cooper lived in his own world for so long. He was happy there. He didn't seem to notice the world around him. He was very much in his own head. He didn't engage with people. He didn't acknowledge people. We could come and go and he didn't seem to notice. Now, I know many of you can relate to that. And if you are outside of this world, yeah, it was sad. I have this paragraph in my first book about how I referred to my son for a lot of years as a little ghost. He moved throughout the house without engaging, without interacting. The only time he would come to us is if he was hungry or thirsty, and sometimes not even then. And it would be so hard before we truly understood him and his autism to get into his world. So what it took was sitting next to him and gasping at his trains and taking him to see trains, all the different things to get into his world. I love all this book chatter. I love all this. Thank you, everyone. The paperback didn't make it as high as on Amazon as the hardcover, but that makes sense. It felt good though. Everyone it helps, it feels good. Really good. And I remember, having conversations with professionals, occupational therapists, speech therapists. Like, how do we get him to see our world? How do we get him to see the things here? How do we get him to want to be here? And back to that paragraph, I have this really powerful paragraph in my book about how it felt like he was slipping away. And I don't know if any mom can relate to this, but it felt like he was slipping away. And I just wanted to hold on to him. I just wanted to hug him and hold him tight. I didn't want to lose him. There was a year where I was terrified that he was going to completely disappear from this world and I wouldn't be able to get him back. That's what it felt like. Right or wrong and all you want is for your kids to be happy. Of course, that's all we want for Cooper, but we want to be able to talk with him, communicate with him, play with him, enjoy the world with him, be with him, all the parts, right? And for a lot of years, we didn't have them. So I'm just if there's one mom out there, one dad, one grandparent, I understand. So.
You're down here.
Oh, thank you, Dee. Oh, yay, Cheryl, thank you. So, I'm trying to think like what we did. Well, the way our story goes is Cooper started on meds when he was 8. We focused on tackling his anxiety and helping him with that. That was a game changer. I was really anti-medication. I was scared. I didn't want to. I was so scared. It was the best thing we ever did for him. It brought out his personality. It helped him manage his anxiety. It brought out his joy. That was really the game changer, was age 8. And he started communicating after that. He started engaging with his siblings. His sense of humor came out. It's been just the most life-changing thing. I'm not going to go into any more about that. I talk a lot about medications on my supporter group. Oh, I should share that. There is a link for my supporter group if you want to come join that group. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's life-changing. So, I just have to tell you this thing that just happened. And I know it sounds so minor, but please know it's huge. So I just ran to Target to get groceries. I was making this. Thank you, Marcia. I just made Mississippi meatballs for dinner. We're getting a huge snowstorm. It's supposed to last 3 days. So I ran to the store and got all kinds of stuff. And I came back and I pulled in the driveway and Cooper was sitting in the window. And I will tell you, he waits for me. And it is the most heartbreaking, absolutely beautiful thing in my life. This isn't the thing, but he waits for me every time I leave. So every time I leave the house, he goes to our sunroom and he sits in the window. And I know that when I pull up, his blonde head is going to be in the window. Thank you, Patty. So and I'll tell you, I know there's going to come a day when I don't come home. And it's the most heartbreaking part of my life. I'm not going to get into that. But if you have a person who waits for you and doesn't understand, you know what I'm talking about. And I wish I could hug you. And you could hug me. And we could cry together. Because it's beautiful and wonderful. Anyhow, so I pulled in. And I have a whole, I have an SUV. I have a whole back end of groceries. And I knew that like Harbor was napping. He wasn't. I knew Sawyer was playing Fortnite. And so I pull in. And Cooper's sitting there. And I can see him. And he turns. And he gasps. as if he hasn't seen me for 10 days. I mean, I was gone for a half an hour. I can see him gasp, and he goes, and he waves. I mean, it's just the most beautiful thing. And I go, I wonder if he's going to come out and see me. So I open up the back end of the vehicle, and I start bringing the groceries to the porch. And he comes out, and he's kind of always dancing. Cooper loves music, and he's kind of dancing. And he looks at me, and he's like, hi, And I'm like, hi, buddy. That's hi, Mom. And he looks at the groceries, and he's like, I mean, he's just so excited. He carried every one of my grocery bags in to the counter. And now I know that sounds so minor, you guys. But for 10 years, this boy lived entirely in his own world and didn't notice if I pulled in the driveway, and didn't notice if there were groceries, and didn't know what to do with them, and wouldn't know to open the door, and wouldn't know to hold the door for me, and wouldn't know how to carry the bags. I know it sounds so unreal if you don't live it, but I have to teach him everything. Like, every skill he has to learn. And he carried in each bag, and he set each one on the island in the kitchen. And then he came back out to get me, and we walked in together, and then he started putting things away. But he doesn't understand where things go. So I just opened the fridge, and there was mac and cheese and that ranch powder seasoning in there. And the fresh green beans were in the freezer, and the heavy whipping cream was in the cupboard. And it hurts my cheeks from smiling. Progress looks different for our kids. From the second our babies are born, and can I just say something right now? And I've never said this before. If you know a new autism mama that just feels scared and worried, can you tag them? I don't think a lot of people see my videos, and I want them to know this is what progress looks like. This is what severe non-speaking, nonverbal, minimally speaking verbal autism looks like at age 13. Look how happy I am. I'm not sad. And we need moms to know, and dads to know, that there's so much hope. So the second our babies are born, and this is true, the second our babies are born, you're given like a list of all the things that they're supposed to be doing, right? A list. At 1 week, they're supposed to do this. At 2 weeks, at 3 months, at 6 months, at 9 months, at 12 months. I mean, I still have to talk about Cooper's milestones at 13 when I do these checklists and these questionnaires. You're never going to find one thing that's going to say, helps carry the groceries in. You're not going to find it. But let's just think of the skills. You saw me pull in the driveway. Oh, he came outside. He set his iPad down. He made like 5 trips. He set the stuff on the counter. He came back out and got me. And then he started putting things away. I had this, like, you guys, I teared up. And I'm not a crier. I teared up while he was doing it. And I had this vision of, like, what if this is okay? And I mean that. I'm saying this in the most vulnerable way. What if it's okay? Like, what if we make it? What if he's 20 and we can do things? And what if he's 25? And what if he's 30? And what if it just keeps getting better? We're slow moving, and we take a lot of steps back, and we stand still, and we regress, and I'm scared a lot. And I don't know what the future holds. It makes my tummy hurt when I think about it. But what if it's okay? Like, what if we can go to a restaurant someday? What if we can get on an airplane? What if we can go grocery shopping together? What if we could spend a whole day away from our house running errands? What if we could go for a walk? What if he could stay home alone? What if he could walk in a parking lot? I could keep going. I could keep going, right? But right now, I'm going to celebrate. He carried the groceries in. And I would say 3 years ago, he didn't even know what groceries were. I'm so happy. I'm so happy right now. And I've been living in a place of grief. Okay. I'm coming out the other side. And that's why I'm making such a big deal about this. Because I have to. And I know that there's parents out there that need that too. What if it's going to be okay? What if we make it? What if we do this? What if we make it? Thanks for being here. And again, no one sees my videos, truly. I don't know why. It's a Facebook thing. But if you know a mama, tag them or share this, send this to them in Messenger. I used to Google. You guys, I Googled nonverbal at 4, nonverbal at 5, severe autism at age 10. I know someone out there did that. Raise your hand if you've done that. I did it every year until I didn't have the strength to see the answers anymore. Because it wasn't good. And now, just think. Someone gets that nonverbal diagnosis and they are terrified. They're terrified. And then they see Cooper, like dancing in the living room and carrying in groceries. He went to a play date today at his friend Dexter's. So we could, all the things. He carried the groceries in and he's such a good boy. He's such a good boy. Sarah, that's my dream. So in the new book that I'm writing, I have a chapter on diagnosis. And I remember vividly the first time I Googled the 3 words together. We had just gotten his diagnosis. I never Googled it all together. Severe nonverbal autism. I Googled separately. I was in my bedroom. I Googled it. And it brought up these dark, grainy YouTube videos of adults with autism having meltdowns. And I remember looking like from the video to my son to the video. And I was like, no, nope, no way. Not going to happen. Nope. That's not going to be our story. It's not going to happen. And those videos shouldn't have been on YouTube. I want to be clear. I hope they're not anymore. But it almost made me want to run. It made me want to hide him and shield him. And I didn't want anything to do with it. But now I think there's enough of us parents celebrating and advocating and telling the story in a different way. And I'm not covering up the hard. It's hard. But it's good. Remember what I said at the beginning? It's happy and it's sad. It's good and it's bad. It's hopeful and it's heartbreaking. It's all of it. It's all of it, you guys. Hold on to that, new mom and dad. Hold on to it. I know you're scared. I'm scared too. But one day, your kid is going to bring in the groceries. And you are going to step back and think, it's going to be okay. We're going to make it. Oh, I just ordered this from my friend Lauren. Does it say resilient as a mother? Is that what it says? I just ordered this. Isn't it bright and sunshiny? Two things for y'all before I hop off. I have to go check my meatballs. About a quarter for every time I said that. Check my meatballs. I have turned into quite the happy cooker person. Look at me. Making the meatballs. Two things. Thank you to everyone that's ordered my book. It's kind of gotten like a little facelift again. They released the soft cover, and thank you to everyone that's ordered. If you want to see it, if this video right now, this video inspired you, hop off here and hop on Amazon and order this. You can get it for $15. It is the story of us. Look at that sweet boy. Is he not the most beautiful boy in the whole entire world? I was pregnant with Sawyer, my second right there. Pop off and order this right now. It is a fast read. It's a story of hope and joy and love and heartbreak. And it shows how we got where we are right now. It's called Forever Boy. Pop on and order it. And then second, you're not alone. And I'll tell you, for a lot of years, I felt really alone. I felt alone, I would say, until Cooper was 7 or 8, maybe 8 or 9. And you don't have to anymore. We have the world of social media. So I shared my supporter group. Is it right here? I'm gonna I shared it above. I will share it and pin it. Come join us. It is the best group of moms. Every person on here that has one of those teal badges, Amanda, Michelle, Roxanne, Phyllis, they're all part of it and they're wonderful. Yep, you can get it on Kindle. It's on, there's the ebook and the audio too. But come join us. I like suffered alone. I'm going to be honest with you. I suffered alone. I was like, I don't want anyone to know how sad I am. I don't want anyone to know how challenging my son is. I just want to be alone. And I did. Until one day, I broke down and I couldn't do it anymore. And I found people who understood and who I could talk to. So come join us. Try it for a month. It's a paid group. And I'll tell you, I do a paid group because I can keep out not nice people. And in the 5 years I've had it, it has been the kindest, most supportive place. So come join. I will pin it. You're not alone. I know it feels like that. But just look, you can celebrate a boy bringing it in the groceries and helping their mom. So, okay, goodbye everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for being here.